All right, there we go. Now we got it. Now we got our recording going, and I got my file uploaded, so I'll be able to send that over to all of you guys. Uh, we're gonna do today, unless you guys have something you want to get started with. Has anybody got anything you want to get out right away here?
I have a hurdle.
Awesome.
Well, the hurdle's been is that the strategies that I was going to put forth in trading are okay. They're holding water, but they're not moving forward. Remember, if I can't beat the S&P or a mutual fund, then why bother? So the hurdle. The question is, do I just continue waiting until I get out of this hurdle? Because I am working on two other strategies that are performing and they're doing well in the private reserve, and they might be ready for public use by January? Or do I just continue? Do I just go ahead and get stuff up on the website? Because I know we talked about this 30 days ago, and it's my fault, my grievous fault. I haven't
But
done any writing because of that hurdle.
yeah, well, you always want to move forward, even if things aren't going right. There's no reason to stop and pause. I mean, from a whole lifetime of experience that your system works, right? And the problem is
Yes.
you're in you're in a situation right now that can't be helped. It couldn't be predicted. It's just, not everything works every time all the time when it comes to the financial world. People know that. They get that. So the fact that you're having a challenge here shows them that it's okay to do that. You're still going to be okay because you have a system that ultimately is going to work. In fact, you're coming up with better and better ways to do it. So I wouldn't stop at all. I would always trudge forward. There's always going to be people that, will look up to you, even if you're having a bad day. We don't all win every time. It's like, how many marketing campaigns have I been involved with that the first time we threw them out, they fell flat on their face? And then you look at it and you're like, okay, where did we miss? Okay, go back, sharpen the sword, try it again. And ultimately you win. But what you're doing for them is you're taking a sense of hopelessness and giving them hope that you're the one that's going to get them through the learning curve. You're the one figuring it out. You're the one there to answer the questions. So there's no shame in that at all. There's dignity in that. You're standing tall. You're basically fighting for them. So I wouldn't stop at all. I would not at all let that get in my way, for sure. So hopefully that helps. But as far as there's a lot of systems, because let's say this slump that you're in currently, it's going to go away. But when it goes away, wouldn't you rather have all your ducks in a row and have all your pieces in place to take advantage of the good times when they finally show up? That's the advantage of not stalling out. That's the advantage of, no matter what happens, get your shit together, because the good times are ahead. I don't know how far out on the road they are, but they're ahead. They're definitely the best of your time is not behind you. That's no way to look at life or business. The best is always ahead. So no matter what you're going through, you should always be planning for when it turns around. Be ready for it. Be ready to take advantage of that. Don't just sit there and do nothing. That's the worst thing you could possibly do, because all it does is just open you up to depression and a downward spiral. And there's none of us that should be in that. We all have access to tools to have a bright future. Maybe it's not bright today, but it's going to be. So that's the way I look at it. All right. Anything else before we hop into what I've been promising you guys for the last month, or maybe even more?
Well, if you can, John, I just wanted you to do a quick walkthrough, or if you've got a recording of a walkthrough of setting up a campaign or setting up an automation in Kartra again. If you've got a video of it, I'd love to know a link to it to watch it again.
Oh, okay. Do you have access to the, what do they call it? Funnel Camp videos?
I think so, yeah. I'll have to go in and look again, but
It's in Funnel Camp. I go
Funnel Camp.
through all the pieces of the sequences, the automations. It's really simple. The automations are really simple in there. If you just go under the tab that says communications, and then there's 3 more tabs, and one of the tabs is called automations. You just simply hit the plus button, and automations are just another form of if this, then that. So it'll give you a selection of, okay, here's the trigger. What's the trigger that's going to trigger the automation to happen? You just select one. Like it could be, person adds.
So if they check, I want to do something like, if they move from this list to that, I take them off. That's things I want to be able to do.
Sure. So what you say, if person buys this product, we remove them from the sequence.
That's the stuff I want to be able to do.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So all you do is the if statement, just find the product and say if they purchase this product, and then that's all it is. It's just an if then. Super simple.
Tim,
so
I've been going through the Funnel Camp training John's talking about, and it is excellent, just excellent. It's about 9 hours on how to set things up in Kartra.
Yeah, I went through it once, but it's just like, this is the thing I'm working on this week.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, drinking through the fire hose is kind of tough.
The other thing, Tim, too, and this is for everybody, where I learned a lot of the Kartra stuff was actually from the Kartra training, which the Kartra training is really good for one thing and one thing only. It's if you're stuck on a particular thing, like what Tim's talking about here, you can jump in there and you can get the answer to that one thing right now, real quick.
Okay, that I'm going to go look through now. I've never gone through any of their training videos.
Okay, well, they have it broken down into like little bite-sized pieces of everything.
I just renewed for 1 year for the whole. I bought for the whole year.
Oh,
like,
cool.
Like yesterday. Yeah, I'm in for a year now.
You got the 25% discount?
Yeah.
Cool.
So I only stayed at the starter package. I didn't go up to the next one. I figured I'm just going to do starter package, and I can upgrade halfway through the year if I need to.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. But the one thing that the Kartra training does not do, it does really good, the little step-by-step pieces. If you're stuck on something, it's awesome for that. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't do a real good job of showing you the big picture. Doesn't do a good job of like saying, okay, here's why you're doing what you're doing. Here's how it affects the future. Here, all of that stuff. It doesn't tie it all together. That's where my training really kind of gives you a beginning to end with the vision of what you're doing, why you're doing it, all that. So.
All right, thanks, John.
Yeah, sure. That's kind of the differences between theirs and mine. And between the two, you should have everything you need. And they've got also some new stuff. There's been a few new things that have been added since I did my training. So I'll at some point when it gets far enough down the road, I'll go back and I'll redo the whole training. But at this point, just the new things, you can just pick them up in their training sessions. So cool stuff. All right. Anybody else before we hop ahead and fast forward here?
I've got a quick question about SitePop. I'm
Okay.
a new SitePop agency user. I actually run my own agency.
Oh,
I
cool.
mostly work with other agencies. I'm kind of a secret weapon. My question is, I've been listening to all your videos from the last year, including this, one of the reasons why I also joined this group too. And I had two quick questions. Some other ones that maybe are more in the weeds and I could talk to you or Chris later about, but
Sure.
You had mentioned Android version, a minimum version, which was in the 5s, up to, I think you had talked about 8. What about the latest versions of Android?
It should work on all the latest stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
There shouldn't be
I
any
luckily
problem.
just picked up a Samsung Galaxy JS Orbit for $9.99,
Yeah.
which was just ridiculously cheap.
Yeah.
Okay, so my second quick question is, has anyone ever used TeamViewer to access the cell phones unattended? So if we wanted to go in and actually reboot them, or because I liked your idea that you gave of actually giving away a phone that was pre-configured to a client, but if we ever wanted to go in and possibly like go into the actual app, marketing assistant, and change the code because it's a different campaign and
Sure.
things like that, has anyone ever tried that?
Not that I know of, but that's a great idea. You'd have to install the TeamViewer on the device itself. The thing I'm
Yeah, the
not-
host. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing I'm not sure is if you could remotely access it without turning it on at the device level. That I don't know. If you can, I don't see why that wouldn't work.
Well, I'm thinking of not only giving it to clients, but also giving it to everybody I know, friends, family,
Yeah. Oh,
everybody.
oh yeah.
Just put it out there. And then when I need to, I could just change the code for whatever campaign it is.
Yeah.
And then, I've got 10 new phones in Los Angeles that you guys can use for LA stuff and
Yeah,
different things. I
that's
want to create at least 30 to 50 different new phone accounts. I don't know if I need to create personas for each one of those, because I would assume I'd need to have a unique Gmail account so I can
correct.
get into the Play Store.
Yeah, when I first started doing it, when I first started setting up my phones, I didn't do that. I set up probably about 4 or 5 phones with the same Gmail account, and it wasn't a problem. They're still running. But Chris told me, he goes, I wouldn't do that. He goes, I'd set up an individual one for each one. So I've got so many phones, I actually set up an Excel spreadsheet and put in there, the user I created, their birthday, all this, all that stuff. So I've got a cheat sheet on all my devices, all my accounts. But
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing. Especially when I'm working with agencies, they're not going to want to have the client, set up a phone. So I just figured I'm charging them a premium. I mean, I don't do anything for less than $3.95.
Yeah.
And then I actually charge $100 more depending on how complex the keyword is, how difficult it might be to move the needle.
Yeah, because you'll
up
need
to
more phones.
$5.95. Yeah.
Need more phones.
Hey, John.
So,
good morning, it's Chris.
Hey,
Hello.
Mr. Chris.
Hello, everyone. Hello, John. Hey, I just want to. I heard every time I hear the word TeamViewer, my ears perk right up. For the business that I'm doing, we need to control remote laptops, and I would suggest you investigate, instead of TeamViewer, Splashtop. Splashtop.
I was looking at those yesterday. Yeah.
Here's the difference that I found. TeamViewer, they must have been the first one on the block to do it, because they are hugely, punitively expensive to buy licenses, that you drop on devices to control them. Hugely expensive. Splashtop, you get 10 licenses for $99 a year. It has great functionality. I won't go. I'm not selling Splashtop, but I'm just saying it has everything TeamViewer does, and as far as I know, like more. But it's insanely cheap. It works on Mac and PC, and it's rock solid. So I don't know if it works on mobile devices or things like that, but we're thrilled with. I'm thrilled to give. I don't like giving money away very often, but when I do, I'm thrilled to give my money to them because of the great value. So that's my 2 cents.
Do you know,
Hey,
Chris?
Chris,
do you know offhand
John.
if that works with like cell phones, Android devices?
I don't know. We've not tried it, but my point is, if it's something that TeamViewer does, Splashtop is a mere software, to facilitate. I'm just saying, look into it, but I do not know. Yeah. We don't use it for that purpose, but give it a look.
In order, Chris, to have the unattended mobile access, you have to either be an enterprise client or something they called Splashtop Remote Support Premium. And that is $40 a month for. So
okay.
Yeah, so that's. But I don't know how much the enterprise is, but I was looking at those
Yeah.
two as options because I wanted to have at least 30 to 50 phones. So
Right.
I wonder if we get an enterprise version, if we can share it amongst all the people in the group.
you can, because one of the things that actually says is you can actually assign in the enterprise 50 end users to access the software.
Oh,
And
that
they can
might,
all be different end users.
yeah, that
So
might be
I
the way
would-
to go.
If you do that, I would join in and help support that
Okay.
financially.
Here's one other thing that we knew, because we use it, like Splashtop every week, and just a couple points to point out there is that it does have in the setup where you can, it will automatically come on. In other words, when we send out our laptops, we have it set so that all the person has to do, once they turn it on, boom, that's all they have to turn on the computer. Splashtop auto launches and it shows up on the network. So I would look for the auto launch function. And the other thing is that it'll control, like the license I have for 10, it'll control 10 at the same time. You know, that doesn't mean they all receive the same commands. It just means that I can have them online and access them in 10 different windows. So anyway, it's a good product. Checking it out, and that's my 2 cents worth again.
Huh. Yeah, that's really cool. That would be a good solution too, to manage those phones. One thing, just before I go on to the next thing, one thing I wanted to tell you too, when you're getting the cheaper phones, they don't have all the bells and whistles of the expensive phones. Like when I put the apps on regular phones, like my regular phone, my wife's phone, stuff like that, they're Samsung Galaxies. They're good phones. No problems ever. They never come disconnected. They run in the background. It's just like, you don't even have to have the app open and it's working. Now, the cheaper phones, the ones that we're getting for $20, they constantly come unbuttoned if you don't configure them right. Any kind of a notification will break the signal and you got to restart the app. It's a real pain. So we wound up having to just remove all the notification apps off the phone. And sometimes you have to have the screen active all the time. So we leave them plugged in, and they've got cheap batteries. So the batteries expand and they'll eventually blow the cases apart. So there's issues with the cheap phones, but hey, it's just part of the puzzle, So anyway, but what I what I wanted to cover with you guys, I've been talking about this, and yeah, go ahead, Ellie.
Just a quick question. Hi, I see you're landlocked today.
Yeah, I'm back in the office.
I just wanted to ask about that whole phone system thing. What you use that with a specific app or product that you use again? What is?
Yeah, we developed a product for SEO that runs on phones. It's an app that you put on the phone. And what it does, we have a network of these phones all over the world. We've got over 10,000 of them. And basically we use it for SEO, for training Google's artificial intelligence. So we can call up any of these phones anywhere in the world and have them run particular searches and do particular things that send signals out to Google that show them that a site is important or a brand is popular, stuff like that. Because SEO got really unfair, especially to the little guy. The little guy does not get the benefit of SEO like they used to, because Google went to artificial intelligence, and their artificial intelligence is trying to figure out who's the best recommendation so they can put those people at the top. One of the things that they discovered, or their AI rather discovered, was if you're popular by people searching for you and knowing your brand name, they value that highly. Well, that makes it incredibly unfair for the little guy. It doesn't mean that big brand is more valuable. It just means more people know about them. They had a bigger budget. They had more, more recognition, more name brand. So the little guy that might have a far better product isn't getting the benefit. They're not getting seen because they don't have that brand recognition. So we came in and leveled the playing field. We can have our army of 10,000 phones start running searches for their brand, showing Google that, hey, this little brand is just as important as that big brand. So that's basically, I've been doing that for over 10 years. We started it on desktops back, 10 years ago. And it has been like my golden key for SEO for over 10 years. No one else has it. We're the only one that has it, and it's worked, and it's worked really well for all of our commercial clients for the last decade. We've obviously had to change it and mix it up and, keep up with the times, but the technology, it's rock solid and undetectable. We've never got in trouble for using it, nor would we ever, because it's all real phones. It's all real devices. It goes to my cloud cover methodology that's indestructible in the SEO world.
Hey, John,
So
I have a
John,
question about that for you that always has been in the back of my mind. I know that when you, there's things like split testing. I know when you have a website, you're trying to, and you run an ad, you try to see what the effect is as far as people going to your website or going to your landing page.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, if you're using SitePop and it's all these phones are driving interest in your site, and you get all these hits and it's doing good thing to boost your numbers. How do you differentiate that between the actual people who are actually going to your site?
That's a great question. Like with SitePop, the normal average user will send about 500 searches a month to their site. So you should see your analytics go up by about that much, and you can automatically just factor that out. Now, that can skew your conversion numbers, because let's say you had 500 people going originally, and X amount of people out of the 500 were purchasing. And now all of a sudden we double your volume, but your sales obviously don't go up. Our phones are not buying your products. They're just sending the signals. So your conversion numbers would be cut in half. So if you're doing this for a commercial client, you have to explain that to them so it doesn't become an issue. You don't want them to think, oh, well, since you've been working on my stuff, my conversion rate went down. You want them to understand that no, it really didn't. And when you look at the effectiveness, this is one thing that SitePop does that it's really undervalued. People don't get the value, the true value of all of what it's doing. It's not just boosting the keywords that you're put in the system. It's taking your overall authority of your domain and driving the whole thing up. So you can literally start ranking for hundreds, if not thousands of keywords that are all variations. And people are not, they're not adding that into the equation, because in SEO, the guys that do SEO, a lot of times they're very narrow focused. They're plugging on a particular keyword, and if they don't see it move, they don't think there's any value. They're not taking the blinders off and looking to the sides and saying, holy shit, 100 keywords just went up. The one I wanted didn't necessarily, but 100 of them did. And now we're getting traffic from all these other places. And it's like, really? You don't see value there? So SEO is a very fickle game. You have to really understand what's going on and how it's affecting you. So that's just one of the things. Now, the reason a lot of guys don't do that is they use tracking software, and the more keywords they track, the more money they pay. So they don't track all the keywords. They're only looking at the ones they're focused on. And that's why they don't see the big picture. But like, there's a couple of pieces of software out there that will actually show you all the keywords that you rank for. So, you might want to invest in one of those if you're going to play that game. Like SEMrush is a great one to do that. You can put in any domain and it will show you all the keywords that it's ranking for. It's not 100% by any means, by any stretch of the imagination, but it gives you a pretty good picture of it. And there's another one called SEO Power Suite, and they're running a spectacular sale right now. I think it's like 60% off on their annual. If you go there right now on their website, it'll pop up their Christmas special. And it was like 75%. Every day it's dropping 5% off the discount. So talk about a good scheme for getting people to move to action fast. You go there the next day and you're going to lose a 5% discount.
John, what is it? SEOpowersuite.com?
Let me see. It's, if you Google Power Suite, I think it is I think it's SEOpowersuite.com. I'm pretty
That's
sure.
who I use.
Yeah.
Because it's unlimited keywords.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't wind up having to pay for all the keywords you track.
Now, what you do have to pay for is after a year, you have to pay for a new algorithm update.
Yes.
So that it keeps going out and updating all the algorithms for Google all over the world. But
correct.
it's still, you can still, during this time, even though it's not on their website, contact support and they will give you 25% off even the algo updates during this Christmas sale every year.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's it's a really cool piece of software. I've used it in the past and then I dropped it because I was using, other pieces of software, and I just renewed when they had their Christmas sale this year. I just renewed on it again. So I'm going to start using it again. And I know from using it in the past, it was a great software, and it'll also do in-depth looks at sites to tell you what you can improve on for SEO ranking. And Jim, that's on here today, he's got a site that slipped in the rank. And when I saw that special, I'm like, I'm going to buy that just so I can run it and tell him what to fix. So
it has separate applications for site audits, for rank tracking, for backlinks.
Yeah.
And it actually does a really good job of telling you who to outreach to get links. Also.
Yeah, that's very valuable in itself, because with SEO, one of the things is link building. Link building is a big key to SEO because of the popularity. That's another factor that shows Google how popular you are. And that was a big piece of the algorithm before the AI. It's still a piece, but it's not as big. And what the AI has done for them is it helped them decide which links were valuable and which ones aren't. Because before it was just about how many links you could get. The more the merrier. But now what the AI is looking at is they see all these links out there all over the internet. They also see if anybody's clicking on them. So if you've got, 1 million links out there and nobody's clicking on them and no traffic is coming to you through those links, what do you think their AI has figured out? They're like, yeah, those aren't very important. So now all of a sudden, all that work that you did over the last 10 years, building that 1 million links, that whole portfolio's value just went in the crapper. And that's the beauty of their AI. It was a brilliant move on their part to do that, because they can truly figure out who's real.
The only thing I'll add is right now, Google about 2 weeks ago made a change to the HTML of their SERP pages, the search engine results. And so it's screwing up a lot of the rank tracker software that's out there right now.
Yeah.
And until they make an upgrade, take what you see with a grain of salt. Sometimes it's off by as much as 5 positions.
Yeah. Rank tracking has always been a challenge. A lot of times you'll run a rank report and then you'll go live and it'll be something different. That's always been a challenge as long as I can remember. It's like, I even did a test in my SEO Dominator club. I had about 50 people on the line one time, and I said, okay, I had people from all over the world. Like, I want everybody to do something here. I want you all to run this particular search and tell me where the site comes up, and just put it in the chat. And they were all over the board. Like, guys in Germany were seeing it on page 3. Guys in Sweden were seeing it on page 1. Guys in Philadelphia were seeing it on page 2. It was like crazy. So if you've got a rank software that's telling you it's, you know, in a position X, and then you give that to your client, he looks it up himself and he sees it's not in position X, it's in position Y. Now all of a sudden you got some splaining to do, Lucy. So it's been an interesting game. The whole SEO thing, it's definitely not for everybody. Most of the people on this call, you know, it's kind of, it's not really even on their radar, but it's a good thing. I mean, SEO has been for me and for all my clients, all my commercial clients, SEO has been the best traffic on the planet. It's been their best form of advertising out of anything, bar none. And the simple reason is it's matching up a buyer and a seller at the exact point in time when they need to meet. Any other advertising is disruptive. They're not in the buying mode. They're like on Facebook and they're checking out their friends and family, and here comes an ad. Well, they're not ready to buy right now. But when that guy goes to Google and he starts running a search because he needs something, he's got his credit card in his hand. That's the perfect time for you to get in front of him. So that's why SEO traffic has by far been the best, highest converting traffic I've ever seen, and anyone I know has ever seen. So it really should be on everyone's radar. It's just so convoluted now and so complex and so many, you know, different variations to it and all that. Most people they're just out. They're like, nah, that's not for me. And they don't want to spend the money to have somebody that knows what they're doing, do it and all that. So that's just kind of the way it is. That's just, I got to call it like I see it. But anyway, what I wanted to do with you guys, I'm going to put something in the chat for you guys. It's a zip file with a Word document in it. And it's not complete yet, but I've been working on it, and maybe I can get some feedback from you guys on how this is going to work, its effectiveness, all that good stuff. It's what I've been talking about for, I don't know, quite a while now with you guys about our year-end process. Well, this is it. I'll share my screen, and I've created this document called the 2020 Scorecard. And my goal for this is for you to get a look at what you did in 2020 and what your result was, and how to double your result in 2021, regardless of the economy, regardless of the pandemic, regardless of anything. If you take these numbers and you double them, you should get double the results. So this is a simple way for you to double your income, double your clients, double whatever you want to double by just looking at this scorecard and knowing where to make changes. So the first thing, a lot of things in business are about numbers. And I know there's a lot of people that don't like numbers. There's some people that love numbers, but business is numbers. So whether you like them or not, you got to warm up to them. You've got to warm up to your numbers. They are your friend. You know, if you think you're not good at math, hey, you know, they make this little thing now called a calculator. You don't have to do it in your head. It's not that bad, you know, really. Get warm with your numbers. So what you want to do is you want to look back. We're at the end of the year now, so it doesn't have to be exact, but you should have a pretty good picture of how much income you brought in over the year. You know, if nothing else, just look at your 12 bank statements. Just, you know, quickly just put them in the calculator and come up with a number. And then you want to look at your profit. You know, how much of that was profit? And that's pretty easy to do just off the top of your head. You know how much is left over, right? You know how much you spent on frivolous stuff you didn't really need, which me, that's a big number. I buy a lot of shit I don't need.
John, can you make that your view a little bigger? It's tiny for me.
Sure. Let me see.
Yeah, there you go.
View. Okay. I can make it, how about 200 size? How's that?
That's great. And then you'll just have to scroll up as you talk.
Yeah. Okay, no
Thank
problem.
you.
So anyway, those are your two numbers right off the top. How much came in and how much was left over, you know, and actually more than how much was left over, how much of that did you get to play with? How much fun did you have because of that number? That's important. That's all profit. Profit's play money. You know, did you not have anything to play with? Was it tight? Was it like, oh shit, you know, I barely made my rent? That means there really wasn't much profit. You had income, but you didn't have profit. Profit's how much fun you had and how much is left over. So again, and you know, if you talk to a financial person, they'll probably tell me I'm nuts and I've lost my whatever. But that's the way I look at it. I look at, that's my profit number. How much fun did I have and how much is left over? You know, simple stuff. Now, next, we want to take a look at your lists and your lead magnets. So when I talk about a list, I'm actually talking about a segment. You know, like I have a big list, but the list is segmented into multiple little lists. So I want to talk about each segment. So this particular page here, you might duplicate this page for however many lists you have. You should have one of these sheets for every list that you have. So you call it, you name it, like I might name this SEO guys. And then how many people are on there? Do I have 5,000 SEO guys or do I have 500 SEO guys? Now, if I've got 500 SEO guys and they're making me X amount of money and X amount of profit, guess what? If next year I have 1,000, what do you think is going to happen to my numbers? They should double by all general reasoning. So that's why this is important, to get a look, a real true look at what you've got, what it's doing for you. So anyway, the list, name the list, how big is the list, and then start answering these questions. How many lead magnets do you have for this list, for this segment? Do you have one? Do you have three? And then you might even score them. Like if you had three, you might say, hey, number one, like I have a lead magnet called the Elvis shift. You might look at, okay, how many people did that bring in and how many of them actually purchased? And you might score them as, okay, that was a great lead magnet. That's a 10. And then you might have another one that was only a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. You know, it did okay. It brought some people in, but it didn't have the numbers that the first one had. Then you might have another one that sucked. And, you know, you gave it the same amount of care and the same amount of traffic, but it just didn't convert. It sucked. So what are you going to do? Are you going to keep promoting that one next year? Or are you going to replace it? You're going to go back and look at the ones that really worked, and you're going to do another one like that. So that's, again, this is so you can get a real good, clean picture of what's working in your business and what's not.
How do I print this, John?
This one, I gave it
If
to
I
you in
have
a
a
zip
printer.
file, so Allie can probably print it out for you. I gave Allie a job there. Did you see that?
Yeah, send it to me.
It's in the chat.
So what does that mean?
I put a link in the chat
Ah,
so you can download it. You have to unzip it and then open it up, but it's a Word document. So the next question here is, how many times did you email this list or this segment? If you've got a segment, you know, if you've got a list segment sitting in your database and you did not email it in 2020, how much money do you think it made for you? You know, these are really things you need to look at. If you look at your results should be clear of why they are what they are once you go through this. So what do you think you're going to have to do next year if you want the numbers to increase? You might have to mail your list a little bit more. Don't overdo it. I mean, I'm not talking about mailing the list every day, but you should mail a list, any given list that you've got access to, you should mail it at least 3 times a year, at least. probably, closer to once a month or once every other month. So I would say 3 to 6 is probably within a really good range, maybe up to 12. And then how many have you run ads to promote this lead magnet? That's a simple yes or no. If you did, again, you might score them. If you had multiple sources, multiple ads, score them and look at which ones worked, which ones didn't, because those are the ones you want to rerun, and those are the ones you want to replicate and create more of. And then we just talked about this, SEO. Have you done SEO for this lead magnet? Have you figured out what keywords someone that is wanting your product would type in? Have you figured out the perfect keywords and optimized your web pages for those, so this lead magnet actually shows up when somebody's searching for it? That's a really good question to ask yourself. Here, this one, for me, this is like a blockbuster. Do you have affiliate swipe files for this lead magnet? Now, what I mean by that, for those of you that don't know what an affiliate swipe file is, it's a set of files. It's a set of emails that an affiliate has their email or has their affiliate codes plugged right in for them, so they don't have to do anything other than copy and paste this email and blow it out to their list. It's a list, it's an email promoting your product with their affiliate link in it that you write for them. Do not expect affiliates to do much work. If you expect an affiliate to write promotional material to try and sell your stuff, if you find one, let me know, because I'd love to add them to my repertoire. There's not very many of them out there. There are a few, but most affiliates, 99 out of 100, you're going to have to do all the work for them. And all they have to do is push the button, email the list, you handle the rest. So do you have that? Do you have a set of swipe files for this particular lead magnet or any lead magnet? If you've got a bunch of lead magnets, then you have to answer these questions for each one. How many affiliates have you asked to promote this lead magnet? Went to them and said, hey, I've got a great swipe file for you to send out. There's 3 pieces to it. You send one out on Monday, one out on Tuesday, one out on Wednesday. I do the webinar on Thursday, and you make money. So you push the button 3 times and collect a check. How many of those did you do? How many affiliates did you ask to promote you that way? Does this lead magnet have a sales funnel sequence attached to it, or is it a buy or die? I can't tell you how many campaigns I see that they send out an email promo and it's, hey, buy my product. And if you don't buy it, oh well. That's a horrible way to go through your sales funnel. You want to first give them something of value. And you guys know this because you've been through the ACT program. You have to earn the right to sell them. It's a relationship that you're building. So you've got to build that relationship. That's the whole reason for lead magnets to begin with. It's to give them something of high value for free to help them move them toward their desired outcome. So again, you need to have a sales funnel sequence behind every lead magnet. The lead magnet is just the beginning. It's just the intro. So that's an important question to ask yourself. How many times have you promoted it on other people's podcasts or been interviewed? Have you been active? Have you put yourself out there and said, hey, I'm available for speaking opportunities. I'm available for podcasts. I'm available for interviews. There's a lot of people looking for people to fill their spots. There's a ton of those. They're free and they give you exposure. Now, again, you look back over the year and you say, yeah, I did 20 podcasts and, no money came in from that. No sales came in from the podcasts. Okay, that tells us something's wrong with your process there. Either you were on the wrong podcasts and you were matching up the wrong message to the wrong audience, or maybe you didn't have a good call to action. A lot of people do podcasts. They're just so excited to be in the spotlight, they lose their mind and they forget to have a call to action. I've done that many times. It's, it's like you get to the end and you're like, wow, that was a waste of time. I didn't even tell them what to do. So again, you look at what you did with the hopes that you're going to do it better next year. That's how we double our income. We look at what we did. We don't do the things that didn't work again, and we focus on the things that did work and we multiply them. The other thing, is this offered on your website, or is this just some hidden thing you made and you put it on a landing page and nobody knows about it? I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. And then people say, well, my campaign's not doing anything. And I'm like, oh, okay, what did you expect? It's not on your website. It's not in SEO. You're not advertising it. You're not promoting it. You're not sending it out to your list. Am I missing something here? How is this thing supposed to work? Maybe you got some magic potion I don't know about, but I want some. So again, it's a lot of common sense. A lot of the stuff is common sense, but I cannot believe how many people do not do this. They go through the year, and at the end of the year, they make their New Year's resolutions, and they say, yeah, I'm going to make more money next year. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to do this. I'm going to travel. All this crap, and they got no plan. They have no idea why they got what they got and how to make it better. They're just making it. It's not a resolution. This is a wish list. It's a pipe dream list. This is how to make it a reality. You have to look at what you did and what it did for you, and you got to make some changes. If you want things to change, you got to change them. So next is your products. In 2020, how many new products did you add to your repertoire? A lot of people didn't add any. I'm like, really? 2020 was loaded with opportunity. There was a lot of new problems challenged in 2020. And you all know, when there's a problem, there's a product that solves it. How many of those did you create? Next year, 2021, I guarantee you, there'll be a whole slew of new problems. The line of problems it's not ending yet. There's a lot more to come. How many front-end offers did you create for these products? Like I've got multiple offers for every product that I have. I've got bundled offers. I've got discount offers. I've got, offers for different groups of people. How many front-end offers? Now, the difference between a front-end offer and a back-end offer, a front-end offer is for client acquisition. It's basically, how do you get a new customer? So what you might do here is you might create new products that are smaller pieces just to create new front-end offers. Because the more front-end offers that you have, the more new clients you're going to bring in. The more new clients you bring in, the more lifetime value you're creating on a residual basis. That's really an important key to this whole puzzle, is the front-end offers. If you're not bringing in new customers, you're just serving the ones you have, and your possibilities are slowly dying. There's an attrition rate. So back-end offers, what a back-end offer is, how to sell more shit to the same people you already sold them to in the first place. That's how you add to your income. That's how you get more money out of each prospect. That's important too. That's lifetime value. Let me give you a little secret here. It doesn't have to be your own products. You can offer them affiliate offers. You can make a lot of money off of every person that you create into a customer on a front-end offer. Even if you only have one product and that's all you're ever going to make and that's it, you should be able to create a lifetime of income off of every sale that you make, because you can predict with a fair amount of certainty what they're going to need next and what they're going to need next after that. And then at that point, all you have to do is become a matchmaker. Find the affiliates, find the products they need, and connect the dots and make some money. You have a lifetime opportunity to make money off every customer you ever get. Because I guarantee you didn't solve all their problems for the rest of their life. You solved one little problem right now, and they're going to have another one tomorrow. And unless you're going to keep creating products, you're missing out on money. You're leaving money on the table. So for every product, you have a product name. This is another one. You might have multiple sheets here. You want to have the product name, the price of the product, and how many units you sold in 2020. What was your result? Now, here's how we get to the nitty gritty and we find out why that number is what it was. How many big ideas have you developed for this product? You guys all know what a big idea is. It's an attention grabber, like my Elvis shift. That's a big idea. That lead magnet came out of that big idea. You know, every time you come up with a big idea, generally it spawns a new lead magnet and a new front end campaign to sell the same thing. This is how Agora Publishing became a billion-dollar business. They hire an unlimited amount of copywriters. They will hire any copywriter that shows up on their doorstep. And the job of every copywriter is every 7 days, they have to come up with a new big idea. They only have 4 products. Their company is 4 products. They're all informational newsletter products. They only have 4. And they sell $1 billion a year. That's with a B. From big ideas, a new big idea for every product every 7 days out of every copywriter they have. That's aggressive. I mean, I don't expect any of you to come even within I don't even know what to say. I don't expect any of you to come anywhere close to that. But that's how they got to $1 billion in sales. Again, I don't think any of you aspire to have $1 billion of sales next year, but you might want $1 million. And $1 million is going to depend on big ideas for every product. And then next, have you identified the most common, and I say not only most common, but all of the objections that someone could potentially have of why they would not buy that product? Every one of those objections is based on a belief that they have. Maybe they believe it's hard. Maybe they believe it doesn't work. Maybe they believe they can't do it. Whatever it is, whatever that belief is, you have a formula to eliminate all of those objections and all those beliefs. Are you using it? Maybe do you want to use it next year? Because those objections are keeping you from sales. Every time there's an objection, there's no sale. That is a result of this. So do you want to change something? I would change maybe that. Maybe eliminate those objections and get more sales. Have you identified why someone would need this product? And are you able to effectively communicate that? If you aren't, or you haven't, that's something you might want to change. Have you identified the biggest benefits of this product? Forget the features, forget what it is. Focus on what it does. Those are the benefits. You know, I did a lesson in the Be Connected community. I did a lesson on how do you sell a $50 pencil. You know, I said, do you guys think you could sell, if I challenge you to sell a $50 pencil, do you think you could do it? And I said, I guarantee you're not going to sell this pencil for $50 on what it is, because it's a stick of wood with a piece of lead in the middle. It ain't worth $50 if you focus on what it is. But if you focus on what it does and you find the right person, I guarantee you I can sell that pencil for $50. And the person I would look for is the person that had a multi-million-dollar idea and a napkin and nothing to convey the idea to the person that's going to buy into the $1 million idea. If I showed up at that given time with a pencil and said, hey, I'll give you this pencil for $50, and he knows he's going to make $1 million sale if he can convey the information and he doesn't have a pencil, I guarantee you he's going to give me $50 for that pencil. Not because it's a stick of wood with a piece of lead in it, because it's going to make him $1 million. And without it, he's going to fail. So it's a matter of finding the right person for any given product and showing them what it's going to do for them and why they want it, not what it is. Nobody's going to buy your shit because of what it is. Only going to buy it for what it does for them. That's really important. And then, have you three-dimensionalized your benefits? This is probably one of the most powerful things I've taught you guys, is how to three-dimensionalize a benefit, how to say it in a way that they could hear it, see it, and feel it. That right there is a game changer. Have you done that for every benefit, for every product that you sell? If not, that might be something between Christmas and New Year's. You might want to sit down and have a little heart-to-heart with yourself and figure out how do I do that? That's going to be a big mover for you. Have you created irresistible offers? Do you have an irresistible offer in place for this product? If not, you might want to spend some time there. Again, there's a process for that in the ACT program of how to create an irresistible offer. You know, have you done it? Did you do it in 2020? Again, all these things are stacking up to the results that you got. Maybe you were missing some stuff. Is there some stuff here that I'm maybe uncovering some sore spots that maybe you guys are missing? All right. So how many times have you emailed this product to your list? How many webinars have you done on this product? Do you have an affiliate system in place for this product? Do you know right off the top of your head, do you know what the affiliate commissions are? If you were confronted with somebody, let's say you come across somebody, a chance meeting, or somebody introduces you to a really good affiliate, can you rattle off the top of your head why they would want to be an affiliate, what their commission rate is, what your average conversion ratio is, what their EPC is? EPC is earnings per click. If you guys are using Kartra, it calculates all that shit for you. Once you start running some sales, it will give you your EPC numbers for your affiliates. If you've got a high EPC number and you can convey that, you can say, yeah, my average EPC is $10. That means for every click off their list, they're going to average $10 in profit in their pocket. If they got a big list, they can figure out those numbers, how much they're going to make right away. That is really, really motivating for an affiliate. All right. How many affiliates do you have for this product? Put the number down there. If you want to double your sales, double these numbers. Do you have swipe files for your affiliates to send to their list? That question was up above too. That should allude to the fact that it's pretty important. Do you offer payment plans? You know, is your product just a set price and that's it? If they can't afford it, too bad. Do you maybe, you know, make an offer to take a payment plan for them? Do you make it easy for them to buy? Wherever they're at in their process, do you make it easy for them? Does this product have recurring income attached to it? This one, I live or die by this. I will make a decision whether I'm going to have a product or not based on this. I don't do anything that doesn't have a recurring revenue model attached to it. I love recurring revenue, no matter what it is, even if it's $10 a month, $20 a month, $30 a month, it doesn't matter. It's, you know, it's adding to future income. It's ensuring my existence. It's ensuring I don't have to work my ass off till I'm 85 years old. You know, I don't think any of us want that. So recurring income, you got to look at that stuff. Then how many upsells do you have for this product? When they purchase it, are you giving them the ability to give you more money for something better? Do you have any downsells? Like if your product is too much for them right out of the gate, do you have a pared down version that you could offer them at a lower price to get them in, to acquire them as a customer? Remember, that's a front end offer tactic right there of how you convert a prospect into a customer. So that's a lot of questions right there just about a single product, right? There's a lot of things, any one of these things you could do to increase your revenue next year. Do you think there's enough stuff on here that you could maybe double how much you made? You don't have to do them all. What I would do is I would look at this from an objective level of, okay, what's going to move the needle the most? Maybe pick 2 or 3 things. Some of you might have one thing that would double and move the needle. Pick what you can do. Don't bite off more than you can chew, but there's a lot of options here. There's a lot of ways for you to double your income off of this process in 2021. Here's your offers. We've gone through the lists. We've gone through the products. Now let's talk about the offers. How many new promotions, offers, and funnels did you create in 2020? How many do you have in place? Maybe you already had ones in place that were working and you didn't need to create any more. How many incoming partner promotions did you do? And what I'm talking about by an incoming partner promotion is you got someone else to promote you, whether it be you were on a podcast or you did a webinar and they introduced you to their list. How many of those did you do throughout the year? And how many outgoing partner promotions did you do? How many promotions did you promote someone else's product to your list? Those are affiliate offers for you to introduce your clients, your customers to other products where you could make money. How many of those did you do? So that's the difference between incoming partner promotions. Those are people promoting you. Outgoing partner promotions are you promoting someone else for an affiliate commission. How many content pieces were released? Some people will create content all day long and they never do anything with it. So it's a more important question. How many content pieces were released? That means how many were produced, flushed out, finished, finalized, and sent out. That's the number that you should be concerned with. How many emails were sent? How many emails did you send throughout the year? This is another thing, back to the numbers. What was your open rate? And the only reason this is in here, there's a reason for all of this. The reason I'm asking what your open rate was is if you sent a bunch of emails, it might have looked like you were doing everything right, but nobody was opening your emails. So if that's a problem, you got to fix that. That could be something that you move the needle there and everything else you did was right. You just didn't get people to open the emails. That falls back to your big idea. That is your headline not grabbing their attention. You just fix one thing and everything now works. So there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of things that could really make a big difference for you. And then how many traffic channels did you use? And you want to rate the effectiveness of every traffic channel. So a traffic channel might be you made free YouTube videos for traffic. You might have done SEO. You might have run Facebook ads. Maybe you did social media posting. Whether you paid for the stuff or not, it's a traffic channel. If you did something that brought traffic to you, maybe you did podcasts on other people, you were a guest speaker, whatever it was, list them all out and rate their effectiveness. Because if you find that a particular traffic channel is a lot of work, but it didn't bring you any sales, that's something you might want to eliminate in 2021. Look at the stuff that worked, look at the stuff that didn't, eliminate what didn't work and push forward on the stuff that did. So that's your promotions. And then look, just this is kind of an overall, over-encompassing thing of you as a person and your business in general. It's called the SWOT analysis. That's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So list down, what are your strengths? When you list your strengths out, you want to ask yourself, basically, are you taking advantage of that? Are you using those as most effectively as you possibly could in your business? Then you want to look at your weaknesses and you want to list those out. And you say, how are those affecting me? Are those really hurting me? And what can I do to turn that around and either eliminate the weaknesses or just position yourself so they don't hurt you as bad? Just figure out how, some things you can't change. If you have a weakness and you can't change it, then you got to work around it. You might have, you might have a disability, whatever it is. You just have to identify it and figure out how you're either going to work around it, fix it, deal with it, or live with it. One of your options. Next is opportunities. What opportunities are laid right in front of your feet? All of us on here are business owners. We all live in a world right now of pain. There's a lot of business owners in pain. It's not their fault. They're in pain for one reason or another. Some of them got their businesses shut down. We've got a governor in California that is selecting who can be open, who can do business, and who can't. How fair is that to small businesses for somebody outside your control to tell you you cannot open your doors? Those people are in big time trouble. They're in pain. You're in business to solve problems. We make money when we solve problems, right? We're all pretty smart. We're all sharp cookies here. We didn't get here where we are by not being smart. We're smarter than the average bear. To go back on who is that? Who's the bear I'm quoting there? Smokey the Bear? We're smarter than the average bear. Or no, it was Yogi. It was Yogi Bear, wasn't it? We're smarter than the average bear. That's why we are who we are. That's why we're in business. That's why we don't work for somebody. Take that and let other people use that. That is one of your strengths. That's also your opportunity, is that they're in pain. And then look at your threats. Is there particular threats that are against you right now? And how are you going to deal with that? Remember, threats create problems. Problems create opportunities. Opportunities create money. So we are living in a time of complete chaos that is creating massive opportunity for those of us that are going to take a hold of it. So the question now is, what are you going to do? What are you going to change in 2021? Because I can assure you this, if nothing on this list changes, nothing's going to change in your business. It's going to be the same, or it might get worse. So that's my little thing. That's what I've been talking about here for the last couple of months of what I was going to go through with you guys. I gave you the link in the chat for this. We're open. We've got a couple more calls between now and the end of the year. I would really like to help you guys answer some of these questions of how you're going to double your business in 2021. If there's anything you're stuck on, I know a lot of you have not gone through the ACT program yet. I don't know why. It is the single best thing that you could possibly do is learn true marketing. Marketing is like the most valuable asset that you're ever going to have in your business and in your life. And it unravels all the unconscious competency of how ad agencies do it. You know, ad agencies take common products and turn them into household names on a daily basis. They know how to make sales. They know how to do this. There's nobody I've seen that really can tell you how they work, because they do their thing and they're doing it and they don't even know what they're doing. They've just been doing it so long and they're so good at it. But what I did with the ACT program is I actually went and broke down all the pieces and created formulas out of it all. Like the perfect example, I found Benjamin Franklin's formula for how he eliminates objections. The ad agencies do that every day, but nobody teaches you what they're doing. You can see it, but there's an actual formula identified, the claim proof benefit formula. That put him in the Marketers Hall of Fame, that one formula. It changed everything for him. It took, the thing that they quoted on him was he was selling a wood burning stove back 276 years ago. He had a wood burning stove. His product, he admitted, was the worst product on the market, yet he outsold his competitors like they weren't even there, because he knew marketing. He had that skill. How powerful did that make him? He's on the $100 bill, for Christ's sake. I mean, the guy revolutionized so many things. And it was all because he knew marketing. If he didn't know marketing, we wouldn't know who he was. We wouldn't even know him. Somebody else would have taken that spot on the $100 bill. That tells you how important marketing is. It's a pretty damn good skill set to build. And that's why I created the ACT program, to give you, to transfer that skill set to anybody that wants it. So if you haven't gone through it, I really would recommend take some time before the end of the year. Everything's going to shut down. Between Christmas and New Year's is kind of a lull time for most businesses. Take that time and just go through it. I guarantee you it'll be time well spent. It's not that long. I don't have long strung out videos. Most of my videos are very short, a few minutes at a time, bite-sized pieces. So, all right, guys, any questions? Any comments?
Hey,
Did you
John,
get
it's
value out of that?
Hey, John, it's Chris. I had a,
Yeah.
When you said you had something for us today, I was thinking like a puppy, or like a box of chocolate. But I'm just saying, this is more better than anything. This is like a real Christmas gift, and I can only imagine the amount of time you put into it, and it just slapped me. Every page like slapped me across the face. Have you done this? Have you done that? So I want to thank you for the honesty and also the time you put in it. And it's a really good checklist. I'm gonna, in the meantime, I already printed it out and I taped it to my kitchen cabinets. So this way I will see that, if I put it on the shelf, it has no energy, it has no juice, it has no power.
Yeah.
If I tape this to my cabinets every day, I'm asking, I see these questions. So anyway, just that's a long, funny way of saying thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't feel overwhelmed. The object of it is not to overwhelm you. The object of it is to show you you've got some weaknesses and let you decide which ones you can push on, which levers can you pull fast and easily to make the biggest difference for yourself. And just focus on those. You don't have to do all of that stuff. You really don't. A couple of small changes can make a massive difference in your business. I don't expect anybody, in fact, if anybody does all of that shit, I'm going to give you a reward. In fact, I would probably hire you to do it in my business. Because I don't do all that stuff. I mean, I've been very successful not doing all of it. So, I mean, that should give you hope right there. I don't even know where I'd be if I did all of that stuff, or if I hired somebody and said, hey, this is your job. Here's my list of stuff I want done. Just do it all. How much more successful would I be? And nobody asked me, because this is a real pain point. Nobody asked me why I haven't done that. That's just that I don't have an answer for you.
Hey, John.
Yeah, go ahead, Gregory.
Well, my struggles. If I did this list and went back to 2020, everything would be like zeros and nos. But what I did do is I started reflecting, saying, okay, this becomes more of, for me, signpost to get to. So if you look at it and say, okay, you got 0 pods for this last quarter, then now look for 0 podcast, then get above 0 for the next quarter. So, you mentioned earlier about falling forward. I look at this as, this is my fall forward.
Yeah, you've got to build a base. If you're starting from scratch, don't feel bad that, maybe you can't fill out anything on the list. Don't feel bad about that. The fact that you know about the list and the fact that you have been exercising your mind all year. You're not the same guy today as when you started with us here. I guarantee you that. You're not the same guy. You are so much further down the line. Just because you don't have your pieces in place doesn't mean that you haven't advanced. You have advanced dramatically. We don't all get there overnight. It's a journey. You're discovering, your whole process, your whole inner workings. You're developing your system. You're developing your business, your strategy, everything. So to think or to even entertain the idea that you don't have anything done is a travesty, because it's not true. You got a lot done. You just don't have those particular pieces in place yet, but you're a whole lot closer to them today than you've ever been. I can assure you of that.
Hey, John, I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead, Woody.
Hey, everyone. Hope you're having a great season, year end. It is absolutely true that any business that does not take an inventory is going to lose, unless you own a casino and it's so much is coming in, you really don't care.
Yeah.
But I do have a question, several actually, and I think this is a great roadmap for your business taking inventory. And what I've discovered in my business is the necessity of a glossary of terms. I think this year, a clarifier for your students, especially not the geeks, I could really use one. I mean, if it's a John's top 20, for example, I hate to say it, but even in the beginning, an SEO, and now it's like swipe file. So that's one of my suggestions to you. The other one is just a big chart, almost like a flow chart of, every entrepreneur, solopreneur, should be doing these 10 things, because getting it piecemeal is great, but then we are left to fill in the blanks. And shit, I don't know what I'm doing. It's almost like putting a blindfold on a monkey and telling it to draw, the Mona Lisa. For me anyway, simply because I'm the talent in front of the camera instead of the cameraman, with figuring out all the doodads. Those are 2 ideas that I have that I think would be, helpful for you delivering your communication.
Yeah, the whole idea of a glossary of terms, that's a great idea. I've done that a few times in the past, and every time I do it, it gets out of sync. It's like the terms change, and before you know it, there's stuff that we don't even use anymore. But I should do that. But as to your point of the roadmap, I've actually done a lot of that kind of stuff. You'll see here, this is a promotion for the ACT program itself. And look at this. This is exactly what you're talking about right here. Step one,
Is that
analysis.
that manual, that chart?
What's that?
Is this chart in the ACT manual?
This chart is actually one of the big idea promotional pieces that I call the predictable client getting system. You can download this chart right off of my website. It's in a PDF file. So if you go to my website and you click on the client getting system.
John, can you find that link and put it in the chat?
Sure. Yeah, I'll do that in just a second here. But that's exactly what this is. This is everything that's in the ACT program. Every one of these black boxes represents a formula that I've created that takes you right from the top to the bottom, the beginning to the end. And these are all the pieces to the puzzle. I spent 10 years sitting in the boardroom of ad agencies, watching them do this stuff. And then for a year, there was a group of people that were pulling this all out of my head and showing me all the pieces that were really there that weren't being talked about. So this is a very powerful group of formulas here. This is what the ad agencies do. This is how they do it. This is why they're so successful every time. So let's see here. Let me get out of this. And Allie wanted me to get the link. Okay, so on my site, client acquisition. And there's the link. So I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you, Big John.
See here. Okay, there it is. So you can download it. It's in the chat now. You just hit this thing here, you put your name and email, and there she blows. It's even pretty. But it's got each one. It's got a little bit of a description to them. And then this is all the stuff that's in the ACT program. These are all the lessons. There's the big idea. That's the first piece of content creation. You know, here's the pieces: the hook, the lead, the landing page, creating high demand products, a unique mechanism, irresistible offer, guarantee, copywriting. It's everything. How to seduce the heart, convince the head. There's the claim proof benefit statements. You know, that's how you eliminate all the objections. Here's three-dimensionalizing the benefits. You know, here's the sales vehicle. This is how to put it all together. You know, your sales letter, your video sales letter. EBM is education-based marketing. And you notice sales letter will make $1. VSL will make $2. EBM will make $3. That's like a restaurant. That's how expensive the food's going to be. Well, this is how much sales you're going to make off of these three types of sales vehicles. So which one do you think you want to use? Maybe the education-based marketing? That's a webinar. That's simply showing someone how to use what you've got and what it's going to do for them. 10 times more effective than just a sales letter or even a video sales letter. All a video sales letter is just a video of you, you know, telling them what they're going to get. But an education-based marketing system, that's where you show them how to do something and you show them why your product is going to do it for them or do it better or enhance their ability for getting to their desired outcome quicker, faster, easier. and then traffic, how to get people on there, and then how to ultimately test, tweak, and scale. You know, and everybody thinks this has to be painful, but it doesn't. Profit does not have to be painful. You just have to know all the stuff you don't know. So pretty, that's a lead magnet. I created this as a lead magnet to sell ACT. So it's an example of what I'm showing you that you need. You need lead magnets. That's one of my, it's a big idea. The big idea is client getting system. Another big idea is the Elvis shift. There's a thing that Elvis did in his business that took him from an unknown nobody to the king of rock and roll overnight. You can use that same shift in your business. That's another big idea. The more big ideas that you have, the more lead magnets that you create, the more people you'll grab attention, and the more people you'll get a shot at creating demand and desire and presenting your offer. It's really just that simple. It all starts with those lead-in big ideas. The more of those you have, the more successful that you'll be. Look at Agora. Perfect example, or billion-dollar company selling 4 newsletters. They sell health, wealth, health, wealth, preppers that are end of the world people. And what's the other one? Not even sure what the other one is.
Is it tech? I don't remember.
No, it's not tech. I used to know what it was. It was health, wealth, preppers, and something else that's really, really popular.
And that's Agora, Agora, like .com?
Yeah, Agora Publishing. So you can Google them. And they've got, you know, their newsletters and stuff are all the same. It's a recurring revenue model, and they understand their numbers. They are just, I mean, I could do a whole segment. I could do a whole lesson on how they run their business. It's absolutely amazing of how they got to be $1 billion company selling 4 newsletters.
I would love that.
It's absolutely brilliant. And I know exactly how they did it. You know, it's kind of an ugly, very aggressive model, but look at how effective it was, or is. It's just getting nothing but better. So, Chris, you had your hand up there. You just didn't know if we got you taken care of. Oh, yeah, looks like he took his hand down. All right, guys. Well, that's about all I had for you for today. Hopefully that was good.
Fabulous tool. Thank you, John.
You're very welcome. I've been teasing you guys for the last month about that, my year-end process. Now, like Woody said, all businesses do this, and most of them don't wait till the end of the year. Most big businesses will do this quarterly. Yeah. I know some people will do it monthly. Whatever you do, just do it. If it's only once a year, I guarantee you it's going to help you. If you do it, the more you do it, it's just like anything. The more you do it, the more it will help. The more chances you'll have to improve and do better in your business. So I'm just too damn lazy. Once a year is plenty for me. I would love to do it quarterly, but I'm just too lazy.
Well, all you need to do is figure out if you could buy your yacht. And when that worked, you just said F it to everything else.
Yeah, that's it. You know, it's just, I think at some point, and by the way, I am really loving that boat. I mean, that is a life changer, game changer. I can't tell you I haven't had a bigger boat, because I've had bigger boats before, but I've never had one this nice. I mean, this thing is really plush. It's really spectacular. And it's like when I first got it, it was like a dream. And now I'm just thinking how I'm going to get a bigger one. It's like I've
Well,
already
maybe,
outgrown the damn thing.
maybe Tim Gillette will say it is.
He's got a bigger one.
The only boat Tim Gillette wants, truthfully, is an old Chris Craft.
Oh, those are
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, way
Yeah.
cool.
A lot of work, but they're cool.
That's why I don't have one, because I'm a freaking lazy guy. I don't want to work at anything anymore.
Yeah, they're really expensive. You talk about those older wooden boats. I had one. I had a 65-foot Drake.
Yeah.
You know, really cool boat, but it's old school. You know, it's not plush, it's not fancy, it's, you know, it's not really all that comfortable, but what it is, it's impressive. You know, you pull a 65-foot boat up to pick up your people and they're like, oh shit.
Yeah, when I realized, like, I watched that TV show Below Deck, and I
Oh,
realized
yeah.
I don't want to own a yacht. I'd like to just rent a week on one. I'm good.
Well, I actually do want one of those boats to run a charter. I want to be the owner of the boat and run those charters.
I don't
I don't want to work on the boat. I don't want to be the captain or any of that, but I definitely want to do that at some point, just to say I did it, if nothing else.
Well, that's it. I would probably be the owner who, yeah, literally, I had nothing to do with it. Just send me the freaking check at the end of the month. That's all
Yeah.
I care.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
I'm greedy that way.
Can I get a quick view? I know we're, you know, over time a bit, but in regards to affiliates, and how successful do you need to be before you get in the affiliate game?
How successful do you need to be before you get affiliates?
Well, online, you know, when my real estate company was really pumping, I had, you know, title companies and lenders, and they were all my affiliates, and they would pay me for volume that they harvested out of my business. I'm trying to keep that connection here.
What the deal is with affiliates, how effective do you have to be, or how established do you have to be? It's kind of a loaded question. It's with affiliates, it's kind of like the chicken and the egg. The affiliate is going to want to know that you're successful. He's going to want to know that what he's going to promote converts already. And if you haven't done that, you haven't got those numbers, it's kind of hard to get an affiliate the first time. So sometimes you have to compensate for that to overcome that. Like I've done webinars for affiliates where I gave them 90% of the sales off the front end, because I had no track record. And I knew that with this affiliate, I'm going to give them a boatload of money to promote me, but it's okay because I'm going to get my numbers and then everyone will want to promote me. So that's an angle, you know, it's just a problem solution. The other thing is you can get what's called a broker. You can get a JV broker. And what he'll do, he knows you don't, you know, maybe you don't even have a list. So doing a joint venture isn't really a viable option, but the broker has a list. So he can go out to the partner and say, hey, if you promote this guy, I will promote you to my list. So he's basically making a commission off of yours and his.
What kind of broker is that called?
That's called a JV broker, joint venture broker. And that's very common online. There's even trade shows around that. There's the affiliate summit where you'll find JV brokers walking the aisles of that trade show. They'll have booths even. They make money on putting people together. You know, they're brokers. So you pay a little bit more, but you don't have to deal with it. You know, all the ugly stuff you don't want to deal with is just handled for you. You know, it's like if somebody wanted to sell their house or buy a house, they're going to contact a broker because they don't want to deal with all that ugly stuff in the middle. They just, you know, it's worth it for them to pay a commission and just not worry about it. Have it done, have it handed to them on a silver platter. Same thing with a joint venture broker. JV broker.
And what do they typically charge?
My guy, my guy that does the site pop, the SEO software for me, I give him 25% on the front and the back. So my affiliates, I give my affiliates 50% on the front, 25% on the back. So when I do a promo for that software, I'm giving 75% on the front away and 50% on the back. And to me, it doesn't matter because it's like Christmas. It's like free money. That's money I didn't have before. So who cares how much I give away? The more I give away, the more I make. So it's like the first of the month is like the best time for me because I'm cutting affiliate checks and I'm paying affiliates. And the more I pay, the more I know came into my account. So it's like, I am really happy when those numbers go up and I have to shovel money out because I know every shovel out, there's a little bit left for me.
Hey, you must have a hell of an accountant figuring all these splits and everything.
No, I have Kartra is what I have. It does it all for me. The end of the year, it gives me my statements to send out my 1099s. It tells me everything I need to do. Every first of the month, it tells me who I have to pay and how much, and it keeps track of it all. So it's very simple. All the stuff in my business is all simple. I meet with my tax guy once a year. I hand him my records and he hands me back, here's your tax form, here's what you pay. Boom, done. All very simple.
John,
Yes, go ahead, Gregory.
thank you very much about the ACT flow chart there, because like I said earlier, you're right. I have come a long way. I can now fill in more questions, more answers to that. So thank you.
Yeah,
Okay, the next
absolutely.
thing is, what is your progress with PayPal? Are we ready to go to war?
Yep, it's gonna come to war. My progress is I am one call away. In fact, that's my next step is to call the district attorney and just file a case. I'm just going to file with the district attorney and let them go to work.
Now, San Jose district attorney or LA County or Orange or state?
It's the state.
Okay, so that, yeah, the attorney general's office.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Attorney general.
Right.
And I've got the number. I've got the contact info. It's just, it's a hair trigger right now.
Okay. So do you know by chance who your local AG rep is? The attorney general has a rep in every county or district or area. Do you know that person by name as of yet?
Nope, I haven't got that far yet.
Oh, I can get that for you. Then I have a state contact who knows that person.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Okay, then I'll get on that and give you my Christmas present.
Awesome. I would appreciate it. That would be a great Christmas gift this year.
I confirm.
But yeah, they've done nothing. I've sent letters. I've written their legal department. I've outlined the what I'm going to do about this, and they haven't even responded. They haven't even given me the courtesy of a response. I've copied every executive in the company. Nothing from nobody. So
okay, they're playing a poker game. They're keeping it close to the chest.
Yeah. Well, if I unleash the hounds, I'm not turning back. I'm going to put the screws to them. If I evoke legal action, I'm not pulling back. I'm going to go for it.
I had to finally break down and get a new car so I can transport a few of us up to San Jose when we go to protest and do the announcement on their doorstep. So I'm ready for that. Just let me know.
Yeah. We'll do a police report, have them show up on the doorstep to file the report, the whole enchilada.
We have to order large American flags to go along with it. The patriotism connection it connects real well with people who have been stepped on by PayPal.
Yeah.
They're being un-American.
I don't know if I've told you guys this or not, but I've been commissioned by a company to create a new social media platform that is basically, it's going to be a replica of Facebook for Americans, American companies, American manufacturers that are fed up with censorship and getting screwed by all this crap that's going on. And it's in part backed by the Trump organization. And
But there's some good points on that. I'm definitely in.
Yeah, so I might have a full-blown media machine to push behind this. So that could be pretty cool. So,
Hey, John, since you brought it up, do you want to just comment on the MeWe parlor and some of the places that conservatives have been, they kind of flocked to right after the election, but I think it's kind of petered out a little bit.
I don't know. I haven't really been keeping up with all that stuff. I'm really not a political guy. I know what's right for business, and I just know there is a ton of corruption in all the stuff. And
Yes, yes, yes.
it's just crazy. I have a good friend of mine. He is a sheriff. He's been a sheriff, for, I don't know, 20, 30 years. And he does a lot of side hustles, he'll do side jobs and stuff for people to make extra money. And he was actually working for the company that made the voting machines. And his job was to work on the machines and fix broken machines. And he's doing his job for about 3 weeks. And he brought to the attention of the company that these machines, after he fixes them and does whatever he's doing to fix the machine, he said the machines are not functioning properly. They're not counting the votes correctly. And as soon as he brought that to their attention, they let him go.
That doesn't surprise me at all, but a lot of people would claim conspiracy or whatever else, but I've been in the gun niche, and I've got a Facebook page with over 300,000 followers, and I'm about ready to just close down our store. I mean, between the products that get shut down by Amazon, Pinterest, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. Amazon closed our Amazon Pay account with no explanation whatsoever. Different crap like that. Just sick of it. It's too much work to dance around them. But it's really nice to have something where it's just people not filtering absolutely everything. I mean, they'll even take a joke and just bang you for 30 days, whatever it is. But
well, that's what I'm building for this company. Is they want a platform where American manufacturers can sell their products without all that crap and without censorship and all that stuff. So I'll keep you posted when it rolls out. We're just building a framework out right now for it.
So
yeah,
Roger,
please do.
okay. So John, Roger, so PayPal did John and Amazon did you. They took your money too.
They didn't take any of my money. They just closed my account, and then after like 30 days, they paid me the balance.
Yeah.
But basically, everybody will tell you, well, if you offer Amazon Pay on your store, well, you'll get 7% more sales or something like that. So it's just kind of one thing after, and even my Shopify store took down a couple of products. I mean, they've just all done something to me to just make it not worth it anymore. To go through the hassles.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, guys. Well, I gotta get on to another conference call here, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up for this week.
Thank you, John.
all
Happy
for
holidays.
yeah.
Are we meeting next Thursday on Christmas Eve, or are we going to meet on Wednesday?
I think it's going to be Wednesday. I don't think anybody would be interested in Christmas Eve, so we'll probably push it up to Wednesday.
Die Hard will be here, but anyway, I'll see you Wednesday then. Thank you.
But anyway, thank you guys all for being on here and participating, and have a great holiday season, and let's all double down in 2021, whatever it takes.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
All right, guys, have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Thanks, John.